Hey everyone, ready to tackle a topic that might be stressing you out just a little bit. We're talking about money today.
Ooh, yeah.
Specifically, that feeling of living paycheck to paycheck.
Ugh.
But don't worry, because today we're going deep.
Okay.
We're diving deep into some really practical strategies to help you break free from that cycle.
Love it.
And you don't need to be a financial expert to get this stuff.
Nope.
We've been checking out this awesome podcast.
Okay.
It's called Money 101, How to Stop Living Paycheck to Paycheck, even if you're broke.
Catchy.
Right. And get this, they said almost 60% of Americans are dealing with this.
Wow.
Even some people making six figures.
It's true.
So why is this so common?
Well, it's a surprisingly common issue.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is it's not always about how much you earn.
Right.
It's more about how you manage what you have.
I see.
And that's where this Money 101 podcast comes in.
Okay.
They offer some really clever hacks
Ooh.
to help you take control of your finances.
Okay, I'm all ears. But honestly, when I hear the word budgeting, I just picture like spreadsheets
Oh,
and sacrificing all the fun stuff.
Uh-huh.
How can we make budgeting, less painful and more empowering?
Well, you got to think of budgeting as a roadmap to your goals, not like a set of restrictions.
Okay.
One popular approach is the 50-30-20 rule.
Okay.
So you divide up your income, 50% goes to those essentials.
Like rent and groceries?
Exactly. Then 30% is for the things you enjoy,
Fun stuff.
Yeah. And 20% goes toward savings and paying off debt.
Okay.
And, if you're starting out with less,
Yeah.
you can totally adjust those percentages.
I see.
The podcast even talked about a 60-20-20 split as an option.
Okay, so it's flexible.
Yeah.
I like that. They also mentioned this thing called the cash envelope system.
Oh, yeah.
Which sounds almost too simple.
Right.
Like, does that really work?
It really does. It's simple but effective.
Okay.
Imagine this. You've budgeted $100 for eating out this month.
Okay.
You put that cash in an envelope.
Uh-huh.
And you label it like dining out.
Okay.
Every time you grab takeout or meet friends for dinner,
Yep.
you pay from that envelope.
Oh.
Once the cash is gone,
Yeah.
no more restaurant meals until the next month.
Oh.
It really helps you visualize those spending limits.
Right.
And it kind of stops those impulse purchases.
That's pretty brilliant.
It is.
It's like a tangible reminder.
Right.
Okay.
They also talk about tracking every penny.
Yeah, that sounded a bit intense.
It does sound intense.
But I get the logic behind it.
Yeah, think of it like being a detective.
Oh, okay.
Investigating where your money actually goes.
Mm-hmm.
You might be surprised to find those daily lattes.
Oh, yeah.
Or like little impulse buys.
Yeah.
They can add up way faster than you realize.
Oh, totally.
Apps like Mint or YNAB
Yeah.
can make tracking really effortless.
Right.
And they even highlight areas where you could maybe cut back.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Speaking of cutting back, the
Yeah.
pay yourself first concept was really interesting to me.
It's a good one.
It seems a little counterintuitive when you're barely making ends meet.
It does.
Will you show?
But it's a really powerful mind shift.
Okay.
So instead of saving what's left over at the end of the month,
Yeah, which is usually nothing.
right, you automate a transfer, even a small amount like $20
Okay.
to your savings account right after you get paid.
Oh.
It's like tricking your brain into thinking
I see.
that money was never there to spend.
So you don't even miss it.
Exactly.
You're building that savings muscle gradually.
You got it.
You're not trying to run a marathon on day one,
Yep.
but you're making that consistent progress.
It's the small steps.
And I imagine, like, watching those savings grow even a little bit
Yeah.
must be pretty motivating.
Absolutely. Seeing those small wins
Yeah,
makes a huge difference in keeping you motivated and
Yeah.
building that momentum.
I can imagine.
And that's where the Money 101 podcast's advice on emergency funds comes in.
Ah, yes, the emergency fund.
Yes.
The financial safety net we all need, but might struggle to actually create.
It's hard.
Right.
It is.
They recommend starting with $500.
Yeah.
What are some practical ways to reach that initial goal, even when money's tight?
Well, automation is going to be your best friend here.
Okay.
Set up a recurring transfer,
Yeah.
even if it's just $10 a week,
Okay.
to a separate savings account.
Okay.
You won't even miss it.
Right.
And those small contributions, they add up over time.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's like that set it and forget it thing,
totally.
but for your finances.
Yeah.
I love that.
Huh?
They also mentioned selling unused stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so guilty of this.
Oh, yeah.
I have this closet full of clothes I never wear.
Oh,
And I bet a lot of people listening do too.
definitely.
So what do we do with all that stuff?
Well, think of it as turning that clutter into cash.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
Okay.
You'd be surprised what people will actually buy.
I bet.
online marketplaces like eBay or Facebook Marketplace
Oh, yeah.
make it so easy
Yeah.
to list and sell things you don't need anymore.
Totally.
That old phone just sitting in a drawer,
Uh-huh.
somebody might be looking for that exact model.
That's true.
And that money
Yep.
goes straight to your emergency fund.
Awesome.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, what about side hustles?
Side hustles.
Yeah.
They seem really popular these days
They are.
to boost income.
Yeah, they're a great option.
Mm.
Especially if you have skills or hobbies
Yeah.
that you can like monetize.
Right.
You could freelance,
Yeah.
offer tutoring,
Okay.
walk dogs,
Yeah.
or even drive for a ride share.
Oh, yeah.
Even just a few hours a week
Hmm.
can make a big difference.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're building that emergency fund.
Yes.
We're tracking our spending,
Uh-huh.
maybe even trying out some side hustles.
Yep.
But what about debt?
Ooh, yeah.
That could feel like a huge roadblock,
It can.
to financial freedom.
It definitely can feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
But remember, you're not alone in this.
Right. Millions of people are dealing with this too.
Okay.
And the good news is
Yeah.
there are proven strategies to break free.
I like hearing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Money 101 podcast talked about two popular methods,
Uh-huh.
the debt snowball
Yep.
and the debt avalanche.
Yes.
I've heard of these,
Yeah.
but I always get them mixed up.
I get it.
Can you just break it down for us?
Absolutely. So imagine you have a bunch of snowballs,
Oh,
different sizes.
uh-huh.
They represent your debts.
Got it.
Okay. The snowball method.
Yeah.
It's all about momentum.
Okay.
You focus on paying off the smallest debt first,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what the interest rate is.
I see.
You keep making minimum payments on all your other debts,
Okay.
but any extra money you have
Yeah.
goes toward that smallest snowball until it's gone.
Okay.
Once it's paid off,
Mm-hmm.
you roll that payment amount
Oh,
into the next smallest debt,
got it.
creating a bigger snowball and so on.
I can see how that'd be really motivating.
It is.
You get those quick wins early on,
You do.
and it feels like you're making real progress.
Right.
But what if I'm like more focused on saving money in the long run?
Okay. Yeah,
Is that where the avalanche method comes in?
that's exactly it.
Okay.
The debt avalanche
Mm.
is all about efficiency.
Okay.
You target the debt with the highest interest rate first.
Hmm.
This might take a bit longer
Okay.
to see that initial debt disappear,
Right.
but you'll save more on interest payments over time.
Okay. So snowball for motivation.
Yeah,
Avalanche for efficiency.
you got it.
I guess it comes down to like personal preference
Yeah.
and your own financial situation.
It does.
Right.
Yeah, the key is to choose a method that works for you
Hmm.
and stick with it.
Okay.
And, of course, the most important thing
Yeah.
is to stop accumulating new debt
Right.
while you're paying off the existing debt.
That's the tough part,
It is.
especially these days.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy to swipe a credit card
So
or buy things on impulse.
the internet makes it so easy.
Right.
It does. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
But it's so essential.
Okay.
It might mean making some tough choices,
Like what?
like cutting up your credit cards
Hmm.
or finding creative ways to
Yeah.
reduce your spending.
I see.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this journey to like financial freedom is as much about mindset
It is.
as it is about practical tips,
Total.
and strategies.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
It's about changing your perspective on money
Hmm.
and having a healthier relationship with it.
It's like we're rewiring our brains
Yeah.
to think about money differently
Exactly.
in a more empowered way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like with any lifestyle change,
Yeah.
it takes time
Uh-huh.
and effort.
Right.
The Money 101 podcast really stressed this,
Okay.
the importance of celebrating those milestones along the way.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those little wins can make such a difference.
They do.
Did they give any examples of how to celebrate?
They talk about like enjoying a nice meal with friends
Oh, yeah.
once you hit a savings goal.
Oh,
but maybe treating yourself
No,
to
no.
something small that you've been wanting.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging your progress
Hmm.
and rewarding yourself for all the hard work you're putting in.
So it's not about deprivation then.
No, not at all.
It's about finding that balance
Yeah,
and enjoying the journey.
that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And speaking of balance,
Yeah.
another key takeaway was the importance of ongoing learning
Mm.
and self-education.
So it's not like we just set a budget once and
Yeah.
then we're good to go.
No, no, no.
You know?
Your financial
Oh,
situation,
yeah.
it's going to change over time.
Totally.
And your goals,
Uh-huh.
your priorities, they might change too.
That's true.
That's why it's so important to stay curious
Really?
and keep learning.
Mm.
The Money 101 podcast.
Yeah.
Recommended.
Yeah.
checking out books,
Okay.
podcasts,
Yeah.
online courses, whatever works for you,
I see.
to keep those financial skills sharp.
And I bet surrounding yourself with the right people can make a difference too.
Oh, sure.
Like having friends or family
Yeah.
who are also on this journey.
Absolutely. It's so helpful to
Yeah.
have that support system,
Yeah.
to share tips,
Uh-huh.
celebrate those wins,
Yeah.
and even just vent
Totally.
about those frustrating money moments.
Yes.
Mm,
It makes it feel less lonely.
it does.
Okay, so we've covered so much ground today.
Yeah.
From budgeting hacks to debt management
Yep.
to mindset.
Yes.
If you had to pick one key takeaway
Okay.
for our listener, what would it be?
The biggest takeaway for me
Yeah.
is that breaking the paycheck to paycheck cycle,
Mm-hmm.
it's totally within your reach.
I love to hear that.
Yeah, no matter where you're starting from,
Okay.
it's about making those intentional choices,
Hmm.
building those healthy habits,
Right.
and believing in yourself
Okay.
that you can create a more secure future.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about taking control
Yes.
and realizing that you have the power
You do.
to change your financial story.
That's right.
But I imagine even with all this advice,
Yeah.
it can still feel kind of overwhelming
Good.
to know where to even begin.
I understand. That's completely
Yeah.
normal. But the podcast made a great point
Okay.
about breaking down those big goals
Mm-hmm.
into smaller, more manageable steps.
Right.
Remember that muscle analogy?
Oh, yeah.
You don't start
Yeah.
by lifting the heaviest weight.
No, you start small
You do.
and gradually increase it.
Exactly.
So maybe the first step is just like making a list
Yeah,
of your
it's-
financial goals.
That's a good one.
Right.
Right.
Or setting up that automatic transfer
Uh-huh.
to your savings account.
Even those small things
Yeah.
can create momentum
Okay.
and build confidence.
So it's not about doing everything at once.
No, not at all.
It's about taking those little steps.
It is.
And don't underestimate the power of visualization.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Think about what financial freedom would actually look like
Mm.
for you.
Okay.
What would you do
Yeah.
if you weren't constantly stressed about money?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Let that vision motivate you.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's one final nugget of wisdom you'd
Mhm.
leave with our listener?
You know what fascinates me?
What's that?
How much of our financial success
Yeah.
boils down to our mindset?
Ooh, I like that.
The Money 101 podcast talked about this,
Okay.
about limiting beliefs,
Mm.
those negative thoughts
Uh-huh.
we have about ourselves and money.
Okay.
They can really hold us back.
Like what kind of belief?
Things like, I'm just not good with money,
Oh, yeah.
or I'll never be able to afford that.
Yeah, I've definitely thought that.
Right.
Okay.
These beliefs,
Uh-huh.
they become self-fulfilling prophecies
Wow.
if we let them.
So how do we challenge those negative thoughts then?
It starts with noticing them
Okay.
when they come up.
Hmm.
Ask yourself, is this really true?
Mhm.
What evidence do I have?
Right.
Often you'll find
Yeah.
those negative thoughts are based on fear or past experiences,
I see.
not facts.
So once you've identified those beliefs,
Yeah,
what do you do?
you start to replace them
Okay.
with more empowering ones.
It's like reframing our relationship with money
Exactly.
and choosing to believe in ourselves.
Yes. And remember, it's a journey,
Yeah.
not a race.
Right.
Be patient with yourself.
Hmm.
Celebrate those small wins.
Yeah.
And keep learning and growing.
Okay.
I've got this.
To our listeners out there,
Yeah.
ready to take charge of their finances,
Yes.
what's one small step you can take today to move towards that financial freedom?
It doesn't have to be huge.
Right.
Even a tiny action can set you on the right path.
What will you choose?
We're excited to see you soar.
That's it for our deep dive into breaking the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle.
Thanks for listening.
We hope you found this episode insightful and empowering.
We hope so.
Remember, taking control of your finances is a journey,
It is.
and every step you take brings you closer to financial freedom.
You got it.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And until next time,
Yes.
keep diving deep.